Hello everyone, welcome to the Back 30 on my new playlist of hydroponics. Building our house, we're at a point now where I have some things I have to continue putting in, and this room is one of them. This is a hydroponics room designed for my plant growing and hosting the nutrient tanks for the railings above me. My front foyer has custom welded steel frames, and on the top I have plant tubes. I can plant 12 plants per tube. I have 4 sections. I have 2 3-inch sections, and in the lower portion of the rail I have 2 4-inch tubes that also hold 12 each. So 48 plants in my front hall, and then as you see here, this is a long, narrow hydroponics room. I'm going to be putting tubes along this whole wall. I'm going to go around. This is going to be a sink here. There's plumbing behind there. That'll supply my water to mix with the nutrients, and that'll host this whole wall of different plants of whatever I want to put in. I haven't really narrowed down to what's going to be on the wall here, if it's all tubes or if I'm going to do some type of buckets. I know I have to have some type of grow area above buckets, so I still have to figure that out. It's a long room. I think it's 32 feet. And then I have this wall that adjoins my stairwell. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be putting big buckets hosting the nutrients, and it's going to be a grow wall. I'm going to cut slits in the wall so the plant will grow out and up the wall to the above railing. So indeterminate plants that can grow long lengths, that's what this wall will be. So for now, I did a temporary layout here for my germination. I have 4 packets that I had in storage. The packets are 4 to 5 years old, and I was kind of concerned of germination if I can get it. I've been pretty successful at doing germination with the heat mat and the enclosure tubs here. I put in 12 basil plants, and I have 4 tennis ball lettuce and 4 of May Queen lettuce. And then I did 6 cubes of parsley. So on the packets it says 7 to 10 days for the basil. I already have germination after 4 days on 6 of the cubes. So that's excellent. 4 days out of 10 early germination. I'm happy with that. My previous house, I had 3 tubes holding 12 in each tube, and I had fabulous luck germination at that place. So I wanted to bring that here and expand my hobby and have food to harvest from the house here. So I also have the parsley here. It says 21 to 28 days. Now all of this was put in place on the 26th, and here we are, the 26th of December of 23, and here we are on the 2nd of January. I don't have anything else germinating but the basil right now. 7 to 10 days on the 2 lettuces. I still don't have anything. I'm concerned the seeds are old and I may not get germination, but I'm going to let that go, see if I get anything out of it. After 15 or 20 days, clearly there'll be no germination. I'll just nix it and start again. Melissa has purchased a whole bunch of seeds from Baker Creek. There's over 50 packets of different stuff. So I just had to break into this section here and show everybody how many packets there are. And what I've done here is alphabetically organized all of the packets. There's some duplicates I'm aware of, which is good. There's going to be a lot of varieties here. I'm going to be trying to germinate and grow. There's some that I am unsure if hydroponics can even handle it. The left side I think I'm pretty comfortable with, that I'm going through here. But on the right side, I pulled out a bunch of packets such as onions and carrots that are ground growers. And if you have any experience hydroponically growing that type of stuff, please give me some comments on how you did it and basically what you did. I'm curious if you stacked up some growing media, or if you did it in vermiculite or whatever. I'm curious. I'd really like to know. I'd like to try doing some of those packets. Along with the ground growing stuff, there's also flowers in there, I'm aware. Those I'm not concerned about. I can run those in hydroponics. Like beets, carrots, some other stuff that's in this side on the right side here, onions and so forth. So share some comments. Please let me know. I'm interested. With this new hydroponics playlist, I'll be going over different types of packets that I've received and trial and errors that I'm going to be doing with hydroponics. This is all going to be in spare time, which is very limited right now during build of the house still, but I enjoy this and this gives me relaxation. So I'm going to start the playlist now. Here it is, January 2nd, 23. It'll grow from here. Any of you guys that enjoy hydroponics, please give me any input. If you see something, I'd like to keep it all positive. If I'm doing something wrong, please comment, let me know. But please keep it positive. I surely need it. It's been a long, drawn-out year doing a build transition from living in a camper and the previous house. Now we're finally living in the house, and I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So here we are, doing some enjoyment and doing some hydroponics. So moving forward, putting in the Rockwell cubes into the incubator here. My nutrients are Master Blend. I've got the 3 components. It's Master Blend 4-18-38. It's a tomato and vegetable formula, and I've been able to use this for pretty much everything I'm doing so far, and it's been very successful. I'm very happy with it. I follow the instructions. I YouTube and search on the internet for nutrient levels. I focus on parts per million, and I also pay attention to the pH level and the EC. This particular start is a 1 gallon of the Master Blend. Since I'm in the lettuce range, parsley and basil, my parts per million range was roughly 500 to 800. So I went on the higher end. I went to 760 or so in parts per million. I'm new to the well water at the house here, and I didn't realize my pH levels are perfect. They're anywhere between 5.5 and 6.8, which is perfect for what I'm doing. I went out and I bought a bunch of distilled water, so I was looking for a good pH out of that. Come to find out, the pH is 9 in the distilled water, which is off the chart for me. Getting back into hydroponics, believe it or not, I have pH down. I bought a bottle of that, and searching the internet, I found out lemon juice works wonders, and it doesn't drastically drop the pH. So I completely forgot the pH down per drop drastically drops it. Put a couple drops in here, so I went from a 9 to like a 3.5, and oh boy. What I did is I mixed the 2nd gallon in with this, and I am at a 5.7 pH right now. And again, the parts per million is like 760 or so. So in germination, what I've always done, I always see the Rockwell going in and people using balanced pH water to get the cube soaked. I soak the cube prior to putting the seeds in. I get the seeds in there, took a chopstick. The top of the Rockwell has the hole for the seed, and I take the chopstick and I kind of feather the rock wool around to close the top. That has worked wonders for me. So that's what's here. I've taken the nutrient. I then, once I soaked it, put the seed in, I take the nutrient and I take a dropper, fill it with the nutrient, and I give it a light coating, not directly on the seed, but surrounding it. Germination has been going great. That's the temporary table with the lighting. I'm leaving the lighting on 24/7. I see online they say anywhere from 15 to 18 hours a day. I've left it on 24/7 with the heat mat underneath. Germination is apparently working great, so I'm going to keep going with this routine. Post in the comments if any of you operate differently, do the 18 on, remainder off for night daytime switching. Once I'm fully germinated here, I will go into the timed lighting, but for germination, for now I'm sticking with the 24/7. So moving on, I have the whole wall here. I've built one of the 4 tubes up on the railing up top. I took some metal piping, drilled some holes through, and then I have the plumber's clamps for the 3-inch pipe, plumber's cap. These were pre-used in another installation, so I already had a cap on this end with the screw out. But what I've done here is I have the supply line coming up and I have a quick disconnect that goes down into the pipe. That fills the pipe up. And then on this side, I have the drain with a quick disconnect as well, and it drains out. So if you look down in here, what I did is I took a threaded fitting that fits up into the hole. I sealed it with the plumber's glue. And then I took a coupling, screwed that down onto that, and I could adjust it up and down for my height of the water. So now, if I take my phone, I have hydro top right pump. That's my top right rail. I'm going to have larger rails down here. These are going to be 4-inch pipes. These are 3-inch pipes on the top. There's going to be 4 separate nutrient tanks. There's going to be 1, 2 at the 3-inch level, and then there's going to be 3 and 4 at the 4-inch level. So right now I have the top right pump hooked up. So if I were to hit this, I have water flowing. It's coming up from down below in my hydroponics room, pumping up into here. Water's flowing. It's covering the bottom of every cup. What that's going to do is that's going to absorb up like a candle wicking into the plants to feed them. So I have 12 plants here. That goes to the overflow. The overflow goes back down to the nutrient tank. There's aeration and adjustment of nutrients down there. So that's how that's going to run. The next step, why everybody's wondering why my posts are so tall on the end, low in the middle, high on the end, I'm going to be taking 2 copper lines, 1 and 2 at each corner of the post, and I'm going to go across the top, and then it's going to go down into the hydroponics room with a transformer. It's going to be 12-volt lighting. I looked into some of the bulbs they have. They're 400K, which is equivalent to good lighting for plants. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start clipping onto each wire. I'm going to solder on the light and adjust my height accordingly with the lights hanging. So it'll be like kind of the kitchen lights you see with the 2-wire system that runs and there's bulbs hanging off of it. It's going to be similar, but 12 volts. So there is my hydroponics railing. Home Depot tubs. I cut a hole in the top. I have a pond pump for each tank, and I have a feed that goes out the wall and straight up on my railing up to the tube. My return is on the other side. I have 2 sets of railings. My middle post, the line comes down here and returns to the tank. I have 2 shutoffs with a T. One shutoff goes up top, and the other shutoff is a dead end for now, which will eventually, for starters, I'll have a conversion to a garden hose so I can drain this tank running the pump into the sewer system. Eventually, I'll change that out and I'll hard pipe it up over, and I can recirculate, restart my tanks, however. So this wall here will have 4 tanks, one here, and probably 2 further down. That way there, that leaves this portion open for my indeterminates to go up the wall on the other side. And that's kind of the layout I'm going to have for now. I have a bunch of circuits in this room for pumps and lighting, and it's all dedicated stuff here, arc faulted and GFCI'd per code. I took all my stuff from my last house. I have a small 4-port air pump that's currently running, oxygenating the water tank I have here, waiting for the germination. That should get moved upstairs probably within a week. So I have 4 ports on here. I'm using one currently. This is my small pump. It's a top fin. For aeration, I went on Amazon. I found these round air stones. They're fabulous. They put out so much air bubbles, and I don't know CFM volume and all that, but I use these. They're, I don't know, 3-4 inches tall and 1.5 inches round. You can find them on Amazon. If I can find the link, I bought these 5 years ago and they're still working great. If I can find the link, I'll post it in the description for you. There's no paid promotions or anything, so any input or information you guys have that may be better, or any thoughts, please post it in the comments. Be interested to hear. The more information I get, the merrier. Helps me out improving. My ultimate goal is turnaround or harvesting. My last harvest in my last house, lettuce was 3 to 4 weeks seed to harvest on the first clippings, and I felt that was great. So I'm shooting for that goal again, and we'll see what happens. So welcome to the hydroponics portion of the Back 30, and I'll be posting semi-regularly, if not regularly, because I'll be actively working on my hobby here. So thanks for joining Hydroponics of Back 30. I'm Neil. See you on the next one. Well, here we go with another project. About 2 months ago or so, I was in the grocery store looking at some of the lettuce, picking out some greens for the week, and I noticed everything is kind of wilty and pretty much nasty looking. So I just started looking around and YouTube and stuff, and I saw hydroponics, aeroponics, hydroponics, basically 2 different platforms. One is hydroponics is what you see in front here, and aeroponics is pretty much flat floating ponds of plants. So I decided to try the hydroponics. I found it interesting, and I had this wall available until I get the house sold. I built this easily removable with 4 main posts off the wall. The whole thing comes off, everything unscrews. So the basic gist of it is, you got your lights, you start plants in seed, and what doing good. We have some tomatoes, peppers, some lettuce, basil, parsley, things like that starting to come through. Got my little grow light on a timer, and I keep the temperature regulated, and I basically Googled all this stuff to find out what to do, how to do it, and I ran with it. So for the hydroponics system, I got 3 rows, there's 40 plants. Basically what happens is, we got 3 tanks for 3 different fertilization levels. Pond pump feeds up, goes up the wall to the chambers. So these chambers fill, comes in, fills, and then these plants get their water from the cups. I basically cover the cups about 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch on the bottom, and you fill these cups with this hydrogen. It's like clay pebbles, and when they finish germinating here, you take the rock wool. It's a kind of like a fibrous mesh, and you put your seeds in, germinate, and you take each section off, put it into your hydrogen rock, let the roots start coming through, and then they drink. So the return here, I have a pipe that's adjustable to control the level of water here for the net pots, and there's a little level that is controlled. Comes back down, back in, and I got a net there and an elbow to control the noise. So that's pretty much it. I'm pretty psyched to get this going, and hey, if I gotta take it when the house sells, I just unscrew these off the wall, unclamp each section, unscrew everything, and it all comes apart very easy. Simple plug in the back, same with the lights. Lights come off, and simple plug up top. Away we go, on to the next location. April 23rd, just a quick update on the plants, hydroponics. I have some decent sized tomatoes coming up. The root structures are just, I can't pull that all the way out or I'll never get it back in. But they're doing really well. The roots are nice and white, meaning they're healthy. And these guys are gonna go into these 5-gallon food grade buckets. These are the cups that are up in there. I'm gonna take them, put them down in there. And I made a little air hole for the air supply that oxygenates the water. We got some celery coming up really good. Our pepper plants, bell peppers. I got strawberries coming up pretty good. My butter crunch lettuce is growing nice. And I got some basil doing good. So yeah, top row is the nursery. Very small plants, lighter nutrient. And I got some more basil and lettuce coming in here. I'm going to be transplanting those coming soon. That's pretty much it. Here's an update on the hydroponics. May 9th, I started this just about a month ago. Did everything from seed. We got the top row right now having strawberry, some celery, I think I have a parsley mixed in there, butter crunch lettuce, which we've already harvested once around the outskirts of it, some more parsley in here, and I got some blanks. I have some germination pods on a heating mat right now for more lettuce. Bottom row, I got more parsley, some more strawberry, parsley, celery. I got one pepper plant left in here, and then I got brand new basil coming out. So come to find out, this is more of a nursery with 3-inch tubes, and you put big plants like tomatoes and peppers, things like that in there. It clogs the whole tube. Tube's too small, roots are big, flow of liquid doesn't go too well. So I had to do a little upgrade. So we come over here, here's the big separate tanks for different nutrients. And I did some research and I went with a Kratky method, it's called. You fill the tanks up with nutrient and you put the plants in the top depending on the size. Tomatoes, I did 2 in each peppers, 2 in each, and then I got the celery, there's 4, basil, there's 4. Coming along very rich. Tomatoes actually have, if I can get in here, what is it now? Right in here, there's little flowers starting, which means I'm going to be getting fruit. So this one's going to be giving me fruit, and it's not even a foot tall yet. This one's a little bigger. When I was running out of room, I pulled this plant out a little early, and I didn't have lighting for it yet, so it started bolting up. But I'm starting to see flowers for fruit on that as well, which is great. Peppers are growing, nothing in the air for fruit yet. Celery is really sprouting up. Basil I could pick any time. And with the crack key method, they recommend putting air stones in. So, you know, of course I had to rig up some air here, and I had this little pump that has 4 ports on it, and obviously I have more than 4. So I said, okay, and I got a splitter, and that couldn't support it. So, of course, I went and got an air line. I ran that all the way down into the basement where my main air system is from the air compressor from the garage. And I took a, whatchamacallit, valve to reduce the pressure. Obviously, I'm not going to have a jacuzzi running here. And the downfall I didn't realize is the compressor will run roughly 5 minutes every 2 hours, which kept the wife up. So doing that, I pulled the air compressor off and I bought this air pump. It's a hydroponic air pump, and it's got quite a bit of power. So with what I have, it's not enough, and it actually backs up the pump. So what I had to do is crack some valves. You can hear them whistling here. What I'm going to do is down in the basement where the pump is, I'm going to do a blow-off valve and adjust it there so I don't have to listen to this hissing. But that's pretty much it. I got plenty of roots. Roots, yep, I said roots. That's what my dad taught me. Nice rich roots in all of them. Plenty of oxygen in each tank. And we're actually doing a drain cycle right now. That's what that buzzing is. The tanks are all draining here. Let's see if I can show you that. There, it's empty. Next cycle, the solenoids will close, and then you'll hear the pumps kick in. Minimal electricity, the pumps run, the solenoids run for about 70 seconds, shuts off. The pumps will kick in, run about 3 to 4 minutes, and shut off. That floods the tanks. The solenoid and the one-way valve holds the liquid up top here for half hour, and it cycles every half hour. It gives me all the oxygen and the water. I have the air stones. Oop, there they go. I'm going to fill up now. It's kind of hard to see. There it goes. Well, the water level's coming up, trust me. So this little guy I just planted on the 23rd. Coming up. It's got the root system. The root system. I love saying that. Ticks the wife off. And now, same thing. Get in there. And eventually you'll get, big, hearty, healthy growth. So yeah, there we go. There's the update on the hydroponic system. Plenty of food. Oh, and the electricity, mind you. I wanted to see what it costs me. So it's a consistent 318 watts. I did all the calculations with the termination rates and everything. It comes out to $15 a month. I have 40 plants up here. I don't know, a handful of plants down there. You go to the grocery store and buy all this for $15 a month. Can't be done. Well worth it. All right, I'll update you guys in another month.